Ladies and gentlemen, Mit Shah.
Mit Shah, the CEO of Noble Investment
Mit
Group.
Shah, the chairman of the board of La Quinta Inn and Suites, as well as the CEO of Noble.
Wake Forest University alumnus and trustee Mit
I'm
Shah.
here with Mit Shah from Noble Investment
Mit
Group.
Shah, he's the CEO of Noble Investment Group.
Hi, I'm Mit Shah, class of 1991 at Wake Forest. I grew up in Winston-Salem, so this is home. It's always been home, and it'll always be home. And the fact that, I could grow up here and then also go to Wake Forest, it has a very special place in my heart. My parents are immigrants, and they arrived here in the 1960s, really for a better life and for education. My dad did his master's and his PhD here, and then worked at R.J. Reynolds in their foods division, which is what brought us to Winston-Salem when I was 3 years old. As the eldest child of immigrant parents, part of this American dream story is to find a career path that is going to provide safety and security. I think for me and for Wake Forest, it gave me a chance to figure out who I was.
He has been an enthusiastic Demon Deacon ever since I first met him. Typically, young alumni are busy with graduate school, professional school, getting started in a new job, getting married, buying a house. Mit was doing all of those things, but he stayed in touch. He served on the Callaway School Board of Visitors and the Business School Board of Visitors before he even got to the Board of Trustees.
Mit was one of the younger members, maybe the youngest up to that time, that had ever been elected to the Board of Trustees. Immediately, I recognized his enthusiasm and energy about Wake Forest and his, interest in everything, especially athletics. And that kind of enthusiasm and energy is just critical to our being the best that we can be as an institution and all of the things that we do together.
So he was a very well-rounded candidate for the Board of Trustees, ultimately.
He always sees the good in everybody, and he tries to bring that out. I think that's the best quality about him. He loves to pull people up.
I believe that everyone that is associated with this university understands that athletics is a very, very important part of this university's entire life and how others perceive the value that they get when they're a student here.
Wake Foresters are highly competitive and have an aspiration of excellence, and certainly Mit leads the way in all of those things.
The athletics buildings were very substantially increased in terms of size and scope, and Mit, of course, was a big part of that as a donor to the athletics facilities.
Our facilities look great, and they make people feel excited when they walk in the door, but they're also highly functional and efficient in terms of access to nutrition, to access to state-of-the-art sports medicine, mental health counseling, strength and conditioning, having that level of excellence for our student athletes. All of that is part of the winning edge of Wake Forest that differentiates us from our competition.
For so long, we were so far behind in those things. And thanks to Mit and so many others that we're now in the front of the pack.
There are people who give money to schools. There are people who give their time to schools. Mit gives his whole self to the school. He is legitimately involved in so many ways on that campus. It's just most visible in basketball because it's hard not to see the Shaw Center or see him cheering in a tie-dye sweatshirt in the front row next to Coach Forbes. He wants to give back.
Wake has always had a very special place in his heart. It's always been a priority for him, no matter how good or bad things were in our business. He's always made sure to make Wake Forest part of who he is. He looked for ways that he can help Wake, whether it was just helping someone they were recruiting stay at one of our hotels. He would interview a student for him. But I guess Wake has always been on Mit's mind. I know more about Wake than most people, and I didn't go to Wake.
If you went to a basketball game like I did a handful of weeks ago, there were 10,000 shirts, tie-dye shirts in the stadium. Literally changed the atmosphere in that building.
Mit is an extraordinarily generous human being, and he gives where his heart lies.
We talk about Mit, we talk about that heart, and certainly we want to win the basketball game or the baseball game, but what we really want is someone to carry this lifelong affiliation with Wake Forest and feel like this has helped improve their lives and help them impact others.
When people mention his name, they kind of light up. It's an honor, honestly, to be able to talk about him, and I know that the impact that he has had at Wake, it's something like I've never seen before. He cares about the community deeply. He cares about the students and their ultimate success. He wants the university to be the best place that it can be, and he spends his time to try to help do that.
Mitt is a leader who wants to win in the right way, and he wants to do it with a team. He looks at himself as a coach first, and he wants to lead the team to victory. And he wants everyone on the team to share in the success.
He's really lived out what we hope will happen in the lives of our students.
He certainly deserves the Distinguished Alum Award.
He's obviously incredibly successful, but more importantly, he's incredibly deserving. He represents what Wake Forest is really about, and I'm honored to call him a friend.
Mitt, I gotta say thank you. Like, people don't realize none of this would have been possible without you. And I say that because when I was a high school kid, sitting at the Joel, watching Wake play Duke, right? I was a high school kid watching Wake play Duke, and I'm sitting behind Mitt, right? And Mitt, ever since that day, since I was a high school kid, it don't matter if I All-Star Game MVP, anything like that, you always been the same. And you're the one who showed me what it's like to give back.
Our chief want in life is to inspire people to be what they can become.